In the next few minutes, you're going to hear about one of the most shocking hospital leaks in China, a video that was never meant to be seen by the public, a nurse who risked everything, and the mysterious link it has to actor Yu Menglong's fatal fall. This story is filled with suspense, hidden surveillance footage, hospital cover-ups, and the kind of betrayal that will leave you speechless. Stay tuned, because what started as a simple mistake might actually expose something much darker. When the news first broke that Yu Menglong, the beloved actor known for his calm demeanor and charming smile, had fallen to his death under strange circumstances, fans were devastated. The official statement described it as an accidental fall in his private apartment, but almost immediately, inconsistencies began to appear. There were rumors of unreleased hospital footage, a nurse who knew too much, and a series of deleted records that didn't add up. But what no one expected was that a young nurse from a private hospital in Shanghai would become the key to unlocking the truth, and that her small mistake would shake the entire entertainment industry to its core. Her name was Nurse Lin Shui. She was quiet, meticulous, and known among her colleagues for her professionalism. On the night of the incident, she was working the late shift at Huaxi Medical Center, the hospital where Yu Menglong was secretly brought in after his fall. No media coverage. No public statement. Everything was done under wraps. According to insiders, Menglong was rushed in at around 11:37 p.m., his condition critical. Hospital staff were ordered to maintain complete silence, phones were confiscated, and only a few authorized personnel were allowed to enter the trauma ward. But Lin Shui, assigned to the monitoring room, saw something she couldn't unsee. On one of the screens, she witnessed a scene that didn't match the official story. The injuries didn't look consistent with a single fall. There were signs of defensive wounds, bruises that looked older, and one chilling detail: Yu Menglong had traces of sedatives in his system before the fall even happened. For hours, she sat frozen, replaying the footage, trying to convince herself it was a mistake. But the more she looked, the clearer it became: something wasn't right. The next morning, a supervisor from the hospital's legal department entered her office, collecting all surveillance backups. "You didn't see anything," he warned. "Erase the temporary files." Lin nodded, but she didn't obey. Before deleting the files, she secretly transferred one of the backup clips to her personal drive. It was supposed to be harmless, just for her peace of mind, she told herself. But that decision sealed her fate. Days later, the hospital released a brief statement confirming Yu Menglong's tragic accidental fall, and the case was closed. The media moved on. But Lin couldn't. The image of his motionless body haunted her every night. And then, something unexpected happened. A 30-second clip surfaced online, grainy, time-stamped, and labeled Huaxi Hospital, restricted. The clip showed two men in black entering the emergency wing moments before Menglong's body arrived. The faces were blurred, but one could hear faint whispers. "Make sure it looks like a fall. No one should question this." The video spread like wildfire across Chinese social platforms before it was suddenly wiped from every site within hours. The government issued a misinformation alert, claiming the footage was fake. But netizens weren't buying it. They noticed too many details that matched the Real hospital layout. Even the sound of the intercom system was identical to Huaxi's. Within a day, Yu Menglong Hospital video was trending at number 1. Authorities launched an internal investigation, and it didn't take long to trace the source. The upload came from a VPN address linked to Lin Shui's old account. She was arrested within 48 hours. Eyewitnesses said she was dragged out of her apartment at dawn, still in her nightgown, crying and shouting, "I didn't mean to leak it. They need to know the truth." But the most shocking twist came when officials tried to deny her arrest. Reporters who went to Huaxi Hospital were told no nurse by that name ever worked there. Her entire employment record deleted. Her name erased from the staff list. It was as if she had never existed. But whispers spread among the hospital workers. One colleague anonymously messaged an online journalist, saying, "She didn't leak the video on purpose. Someone set her up." That clip was edited. The full version shows what happened before he was brought in. That statement changed everything. The full footage, according to the insider, allegedly shows Yu Menglong being carried by two unidentified men from a vehicle into the hospital loading area. The men were not paramedics, they weren't wearing uniforms. One of them was seen holding a metal briefcase, and the other repeatedly looked at the camera before covering it with his jacket. The question now was, who were those men? Rumors pointed toward a private security firm connected to a major production company that Menglong had recently cut ties with. Others believed it was part of a cover-up involving a powerful investor in the entertainment industry who wanted the incident buried. The online uproar reached such intensity that several entertainment platforms had to suspend comment sections. Fans demanded justice, while others feared that Lin Shui might never be heard from again. And then, a new piece of evidence surfaced. A voice recording, allegedly sent by Lin to a friend before her arrest, was leaked online. Her voice trembled as she whispered, "I don't know how long I have before they find out. I didn't leak the video. I just wanted to save the truth. He was already unconscious before he fell. Someone gave him something. I saw the test results, his blood wasn't clean." That one line, "his blood wasn't clean," reignited the investigation. Independent journalists began piecing together the final 48 hours before Menglong's death. He had reportedly cancelled a major meeting with a film executive, citing health reasons. But sources claimed he was actually planning to expose unethical practices within the production house that managed several top-tier actors. He had even recorded a voice memo days before saying, "If anything happens to me, check my phone. The truth is there." But when police searched his apartment after his death, his phone was missing. The deeper journalists dug, the more threads unraveled. The hospital's security chief suddenly resigned. The surveillance server was wiped clean, and a senior doctor was quietly transferred overseas. Meanwhile, fans began leaving flowers outside Huaxi Hospital, chanting, "Justice for Menglong, free Nurse Lin." Inside the hospital, tension grew. Staff were forbidden to speak to outsiders. The few who tried faced sudden job terminations or mysterious relocations. Then came the second leak. A new video surfaced on a foreign server, longer and clearer. It showed Lin Shui walking through the hospital corridor at midnight, holding a USB stick. Behind her, a man in a black coat followed silently. At the end of the hallway, the footage abruptly cut off. The internet went wild again. Some claimed it proved Lin had been framed, others said it confirmed her guilt. But the truth was more complicated than anyone expected. A whistleblower claiming to be a retired Huaxi technician contacted an independent blogger, revealing something staggering. The original video wasn't leaked from Lin's account. It was planted. Someone wanted her blamed because she saw the real footage. The truth, the real truth, involves someone much higher up. As speculation grew, one shocking detail emerged. Yu Menglong's personal assistant, who had vanished after his death, was spotted at an airport in Thailand with a man resembling one of the unidentified figures from the video. Was it coincidence or connection? Online forums buzzed with theories. Some said Menglong's assistant was offered money to stay silent. Others believed he was running for his life. But one theory stood out, that Yu Menglong's death wasn't an accident at all, but the result of a silenced confrontation gone wrong. Days later, another anonymous tip claimed that before her arrest, Lin Shui handed a sealed envelope to a friend. Inside, there was a handwritten note. "If the truth dies with me, let them know I tried." The friend has never been identified. Today, Lin's whereabouts remain unknown. Officially, her case is under investigation, but no public records exist. Her family has reportedly been warned not to speak to the press. But whispers persist online that the truth is still out there, waiting for someone brave enough to bring it to light. In the entertainment world, a chilling silence surrounds the case. Some celebrities who once worked closely with Menglong have quietly deleted old photos, avoiding questions from the media. Others post cryptic messages like, "The higher the star, the darker the shadow beneath." Was Yu Menglong's death truly an accident? Or was it a meticulously orchestrated cover-up designed to protect powerful names in the industry? And if so, what exactly did Lin Shui see that night that was worth erasing her entire existence for? To this day, fans across China continue to leave messages on social media with the haunting phrase, "The nurse saw everything." Because maybe, just maybe, the truth behind Yu Menglong's death is much closer to the surface than anyone dares to admit. If you made it this far, you deserve to know this isn't just a story about a nurse or a leaked video. It's about courage, corruption, and the cost of silence. Now, I want to hear from you. What do you think really happened that night? Do you believe the video was a setup or a desperate attempt to expose the truth? And most importantly, what do you think happened to Nurse Lin? When the story of the nurse's arrest hit the internet, it sent shockwaves through China's entertainment world. But what the public didn't see, what the media tried so hard to hide, was the chaos that unfolded inside Huaxi Medical Center the very night she disappeared. That night, the hallways were eerily quiet. The same hospital that had buzzed with whispers about Yu Menglong's accidental fall now sat in silence, as if holding its breath. Security guards stood by every exit. Surveillance lights flickered. And deep in the basement, in a small storage room that smelled of disinfectant and fear, Nurse Lin Shui was being interrogated by hospital officials before the police even arrived. "Why did you copy the file?" a stern voice demanded. Lin trembled. "Because the footage didn't match the report. You said it was an accident, but his body." "Enough," the man interrupted, slamming his palm on the metal table. "You've already done enough damage. Do you have any idea who you've crossed?" Lin's eyes filled with tears. She didn't care about who she had crossed, she only cared about what she had seen. The bruises. The scratches. The injection mark that didn't belong. But she didn't know that the real danger wasn't the hospital, it was the people behind the cover-up. Within minutes, 2 men in black suits entered the room. They weren't police officers, they were from a private security company. No one knew who hired them. One of them carried a folder with the hospital's logo, the other wore an earpiece and said nothing. The man with the folder leaned close to Lin and whispered, "If you value your family, you'll forget what you saw." Lin's heart pounded. Her voice broke as she whispered, "I didn't mean to leak it. I swear. Someone else." Before she could finish, one of the men grabbed the USB drive from her pocket and crushed it under his heel. And that was the last time anyone at Huaxi Hospital saw her. The next morning, her shift was erased from the attendance record. Her name tag was gone. Even the locker she used every day was emptied out. It was as if she had been deleted from reality. But they made one mistake, they forgot about the digital footprints. Lin had once synced her personal tablet to the hospital's system for shift scheduling. Unknowingly, it had auto-saved fragments of the leaked video to her cloud backup. When she vanished, her friend, a medical intern named Chen, noticed strange files stored in her shared folder. At first, he thought it was a glitch. But when he opened one of the clips, his blood ran cold. The video showed the inside of the hospital's emergency ward the night Yu Menglong was brought in. Lin could be seen standing by the door, panicking, as doctors rushed around the stretcher. But then, 2 men entered. They weren't hospital staff. They whispered something to the lead surgeon, and suddenly everyone froze. Then, one of the men turned toward the camera, his eyes cold, expressionless, and smiled. Chen immediately knew what this meant. The video Lin had leaked wasn't random. It was evidence. But before he could download it all, his screen flickered and the files vanished one by one. A notification appeared. Access revoked, administrative clearance required. His heart sank. Someone inside the hospital had detected his login. Within minutes, his account was suspended. That same night, his apartment was searched by unknown men. His phone, confiscated. The next morning, he fled Shanghai. Meanwhile, on the internet, fragments of the original leak kept resurfacing. Despite government attempts to suppress it, someone was continuously re-uploading altered versions of the video on anonymous sites. Some showed only shadows, others distorted audio, but they all contained one unmissable sound. A woman's voice whispering. He wasn't breathing when he arrived. That voice was unmistakably Lin's. The public began piecing together the clues. If Yu Menglong wasn't breathing when he reached the hospital, then how could his death have been ruled as an accidental fall? The questions grew louder. The government grew quieter. But behind the silence, a storm was brewing. Journalists who tried to investigate the nurse's disappearance received anonymous threats. One even found a note slipped under her hotel door. "Stop digging. She's gone." Still, fragments of truth continued leaking out. One nurse claimed to have seen Lin's identification card inside the hospital's restricted medical archive, tagged confidential evidence. Another swore she heard senior doctors arguing late one night. "You can't bury everything. Someone else has the footage. Then find them before it's too late." That conversation, recorded secretly by an intern, became viral proof that Lin wasn't the only one who knew what happened that night. Meanwhile, outside the hospital, Yu Menglong's fans began staging candlelight vigils. Thousands gathered online, demanding transparency. The hashtag #JusticeForNurseLin exploded, trending across Asia. But soon, something strange happened. The hashtag disappeared. Every post under it was deleted. Accounts were banned. Some users reported receiving warning messages that read, "Stop spreading unverified claims." Yet the more they tried to silence it, the louder it grew. A week later, an anonymous email was sent to several media outlets. The sender's address was encrypted, but the subject line read, "Proof of what Lin saw." Attached was a screenshot, a hospital report showing that Yu Menglong's toxicology test had been altered. The original result, dated the night of the incident, detected a sedative compound inconsistent with his medical history. The second report, the one officially submitted to the authorities, had the line removed. That was the turning point. News outlets scrambled to verify it. The hospital issued a denial. But the public no longer trusted denials. In the background, whispers circulated that Lin's arrest was a cover-up for something far more sinister, that she had been taken not by police, but by people determined to make sure she could never speak again. A witness later claimed to have seen a woman matching her description being escorted into a black van outside the hospital's back gate at 3 a.m. The van's license plate belonged to a private company that had connections with the very same production firm Yu Menglong had been planning to expose. Coincidence? Hardly. As the mystery deepened, one journalist, Liang Wen, decided to risk everything. He tracked down Lin's old home in Suzhou, where her mother still lived quietly. She refused to speak at first, her hands shook as she clutched a photo of her daughter in uniform. But before closing the door, she whispered, "She told me not to worry, she said the truth would find its way." Those words broke Liang. He promised himself he would find out what truth Lin had been talking about. The next day, he received a strange package at his hotel, no return address, just a small USB stick and a note that said, "For her." When he opened it, his computer flickered, and there she was. Lin Shui. Her hair messy, face pale, eyes filled with fear. She spoke quickly, whispering between sobs. "If you see this, it means they found me. The footage wasn't an accident. Someone wanted it seen, but not the full version. Please, show them what really happened. Don't let them erase him like they erased me." The clip ended with a door slamming in the background and her screaming. Liang froze. He couldn't breathe. The room felt colder. He tried uploading the file, but within seconds, his Wi-Fi went down. When he checked again, the USB had been wiped clean. Still, he remembered her words, and he didn't stop talking. In one of his last online posts before his account was suspended, he wrote, "The nurse didn't leak the truth by mistake. She was trying to save it." That single post reignited global attention. International media began picking up the story. Human rights organizations demanded answers. And soon, the Chinese authorities released an official clarification, stating that nurse Lin Shui had been detained for violating medical privacy laws but refused to disclose her location or trial date. Even now, no one knows where she is. Some say she was transferred to a mental health facility. Others believe she escaped. A few claim she's still inside China, living under a false identity, waiting for the right moment to reveal everything. Whatever the truth is, one thing is clear, her courage changed everything. Because ever since that video leaked, no one looks at Yu Menglong's death the same way again. The whispers about foul play refuse to fade. The hospital's reputation remains stained. And fans still flood social media with one haunting message. The nurse saw everything. If this story gave you chills, if you believe the truth deserves to be heard, make sure you like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more deep, mind-blowing investigations like this one. Now, tell me in the comments below. Do you think the hospital was hiding something? Was Nurse Lin really arrested or silenced? And what do you think was in that full video that never reached the public? Drop your thoughts down below, I'll be reading every comment. Because this story isn't over yet. And the truth, just like Lin's voice, always finds a way back.